everyone. Today we are going to learn how we can compare and order mixed numbers. In our previous lecture we have seen what are mixed numbers. But if you are given with the multiple mixed number and you will be asked to compare them, that which mixed number is greater than the other, or if you will be asked to order them from least to the greatest or from the greatest to the lowest, then how you can do that. But before that, there is one important concept that you should know regarding the fractions. What is that? Let's see. So while comparing the fractions, we came across the two types of fractions. One is the fractions having same numerator. One case is this, and the other is the fraction having the same denominator. So once we came to know, or once we get an idea that how you can compare the fractions having the same numerator or the same denominator, it will be easier for us to compare and order the mixed numbers as well. For example, if we have the fractions like 2 divided by 3 and 2 divided by 5. Now these are the two fractions having the same numerator. Their numerator is same. It means in order to compare these two fractions, we need to compare their denominator. So in such a case, we have to compare the 3 and 5. Now, before making any comparison, you should know that what is meant by 2 by 3 and 2 by 5. So if I draw here, 2 by 3 refers to the two parts out of three parts. There are three parts and we have two parts out of three. And what does 2 by 5 indicating? It is indicating that we have total 5 parts, and this fraction is referring to the 2 parts out of the 5 parts, which means these 2 parts. So it is obvious here that the fraction 2 by 3 is covering more part of the total as compared to the fraction 2 by 5. So we can easily write here that 2 by 3 is greater than 2 by 5. Similarly, if we see towards the fractions having the same denominator and write an example like 2 by 3 and 1 by 3. These are the two fractions having the same denominator. In such a case, we have to compare their numerators. So these are same. So we cannot compare it. So we have to compare their numerators. Now again here we will see 2 by 3 is referring to the part that is 2 parts out of 3, and 1 by 3 is referring to the part or to the fraction that is we have the total 3 parts, and 1 by 3 is referring to only the one part of the total. So it means that the fraction 2 by 3 is covering more part as compared to the fraction 1 by 3. So we can easily say here that 2 by 3 is greater than 1 by 3. So this is the case that you have to keep in your mind while comparing the fractions and as well as the mixed numbers. Now let's have an example of the mixed numbers so that you can easily know how you can compare, order or arrange the mixed number from least to the greatest. So we have an example 6 whole 1 divided by 2. This is one mixed number. Another is 5 whole 2 divided by 3, and the last is 5 whole 5 divided by 8. Now there are steps that you have to consider while comparing them. Step number 1 is you have to compare the whole numbers of these mixed numbers. So it is clear here that the whole number part is this and this. So I can easily write here that 6 is greater than 5. So one thing that I forgot to mention here, we have to order it from least to the greatest. So in step number 1, we have to compare the whole number part of the mixed numbers. So 6 is greater than 5. So it is locked here that 6 whole 1 by 2 is the greatest of all the three. Then in the step number 2, we have to look for the rest of the 2. So it is clear here in the step number 1 that 6 whole 1 by 2 is the greatest mixed number from rest of the 2. Now we are left with the rest with the 2 mixed numbers. Now we have to compare these two in the step number 2. It is clear that both of these mixed numbers have the same whole number part. So in order to compare them, we have to convert the fractional part with the same denominator. How we can do that? Let's see. If we write here 5 whole 2 divided by 3 and the other is 5 whole 5 divided by 8. Now in order to change their denominators to the common denominator, we have to take the LCM of the denominator. So the LCM of the denominators 3 and 8 will be 24. 3 and 8, so it will be 3 ones are 3, 8 will be as it is, and 8 ones are 8. So 8 threes are 24. So it means we have to make their denominator to 24. For that purpose, we have to multiply the denominator of the first mixed number 5 whole 2 by 3 denominator as well as the numerator, because it's the rule of math, whatever you are dividing you have to multiply it with the same. So we have to multiply it with the 8, and we have to multiply the numerator and denominator of the second mixed number with the 3. So I'll write here. So we have to multiply the numerator with 8 and the denominator with 8 as well. Same is the case with the other mixed number, and we have to multiply the numerator of the other number with 3 and the denominator with 3 as well. So what we will get is, I will write it here, 5 whole 16 divided by 24, and another number is 5 whole 15 divided by 20. Now here comes the point. In the step number 3, we have to do what? We have to compare the numerators of the fractional part of the mixed number. So we have to compare numerators. Why? Because we are having the same denominators. As we discussed in the very start, that if the fractions are having the same denominator, we have to compare their numerators, and if they are having the same numerator, we have to compare their denominators. So we have to compare the numerators here. So it is clear here that the numerator 16 is greater than 15. So I'll write 16 is greater than 15. So I can write here that 5 whole 16 divided by 24 is greater than 5 whole 15 divided by 24. Now we have got the numbers from least to the greatest, that the order will be, I will write here as, the least number will be this 5 whole 15 over 24. So I'll write 5 whole 15 divided by 24. Then we have another number, that is 5 whole 16 divided by 24. This is greater than 5 whole 15 over 24. And then we have the greatest one that we have decided in the step number 1, that 6 whole 1 by 2 is the greatest of all. So this is the order of the mixed numbers that we have got after using the 3-step process. So this is all about how you can compare and order the mixed numbers if you are given with the numbers, whether they are having the same numerator or same denominator. Your first step should be to compare the whole numbers and then the fractions, and then you can write easily them in the order of from least to greatest or greatest to the least. So that's all from today's lecture. Thank you.